your phone, and I accepted your request. There it is. Now I'm going to press on your request, and I'm adding you. Okay, I'm waiting for you now. I'm waiting for you. You should come on.
Hi!
Oh!
Yay! Oh, we can do this.
We can. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but we can do it. Okay, we just need to be patient.
Oh, thank you for your patience.
Oh my goodness. You know, I mean, I didn't know that I could do this for the longest time. I saw other people doing it, but I didn't. And my friend told me like really quickly, and I was like, duh. You know what I mean?
Yay.
I don't pay attention to all those little things down there.
I never saw the two faces, so I'm clicking on it. I'm like, oh, I need to figure this out.
Yeah, I wasn't sure because if you're on a computer, it might be different. You know, some people come on through their computers, and they can't do as much from your computer. It's better from your phone app, and it's kind of designed that way. It's kind of goofy, or a an iPad. You know, Instagram is easier to work through those mediums, but not everybody does. So, but welcome.
Thank you.
I love
it's great to be here.
I love your suitcases in the background.
I had to, yeah, I'm very messy, so I had to come up with an impromptu backdrop. So,
well, you know what I do? I have to put that black. It's one of those Elmer's glue boards, because that's a window. So a lot of times there's too much light coming in. And stuff. But yeah, I'm messy too. But
this is exciting.
We're busy. You know, I'm sure that you know your life is evidence that you're living in there.
I took over my daughter's room when she went to college and just destroyed it with, you know, all of my supplies. So it's a mess, and I'm really busy. It's been I've been fortunate to have a lot of orders, and it's just been crazy. So to say it's been a disaster in this space is to say well, it's a mess.
you get to it when you get to it, you know. Yep. As long as you know where everything is.
Yeah.
Like Birdie says, the creative mind is really tidy. But I'll tell you, it's really nice when you have both, because when I do clean up, which is rare, I go, oh, this is nice.
Yes, it is nice. I know. I have to, I want to always put my daily energy into my making things, being creative. So by the time I get done with that, I just, you know, then the cleaning's like, I'd rather go outside or.
I concur.
You know,
it's the same thing. I mean, we're working artists. I work, you know, mostly during the day. And like I said, I work into the night. It's always something. There's a lot to do.
Yeah.
So did you make purple earrings?
I did. So I'm going to hold them up in front of here. So wow. Can you see that? So these are, I've been kind of on a kick, and I can show that.
Love, everybody. Did you see those? Hold those back up a little while longer.
Sure.
These are this is her interpretation of the purple spill. Are they not the coolest?
So there's different, I've kind of been on this kick to do these like longer post earrings lately. And so I decided to just continue with that. But basically, definitely took the inspiration from the color palette that you used. But this base part is that purple, and then went ahead and did the polka dots. My lighting is not the best, but.
So that's a deep purple.
It's a deep purple, yeah. And then I kind of did a lighter, a bit with the lighter purple. I don't know. I feel like I don't want to do anything with my phone. I don't want to lose you. So I don't know if I want to try to do a different.
That's okay. Do you have a light source there? Because see, I have my work lamp.
So I have a lamp kind of shining down. I don't know.
Sometimes if you move your lamp, but that's good. That's good. We can see it if you don't want to talk. But I never move my phone. But what I do, well, I move my phone down so you can see what I'm doing. But yeah, I move my light. So there we go. Yeah, you can see that better. Give her some love, everybody. Yeah, I love them. So
Thank you.
tell us a little bit about your process.
Yeah.
I guess I can lead you in with that. I think the first thing that I was attracted to was a design sense of your work. And then when I was reading, some of your captions, that there was a pole barn that burned down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can take it from there.
Yeah.
Was that
So
how it started?
so I had been playing with metal. Prior to that, I went to school for fiber arts, and so I've been working mixed media for quite a while, and I had started to incorporate some recycled metal into my collages, really always trying to work with things I could cut easily from, like this is just an example of some thin barn metal.
Okay. Now, can I ask what you used to cut it with?
I have a pair of tin snips that's a fairly small pair. I have used a heavy-duty pair of scissors before, but I found that it really ended up giving me hand issues.
Oh, I
whereas which makes sense, but I didn't think about that until after I was using that for a while. So I just used tin snips, found like a smaller pair, and they work really well. It's not like I'm using a saw, so I can't do as many shapes and intricate designs,
Right.
But the way that I work, it's not usually an issue. So, but yeah, so basically we had we live on a farm, Southern Illinois, and we had a huge machine shed, a pole barn that was covered in metal, and it actually burned a few years ago. And after just like the tragedy of all that, I just started going through the thought process, because I'm always looking for a way to reuse materials. I just thought I can use this metal. A lot of it wasn't burned. It was just, I don't know, we just had a lot of it. So I started experimenting, and yeah, I just found it to be really easy for me to work with. It was easy to treat it like I was using my papers to collage, and so anyway, that's kind of the way it started. And so something that was pretty sad and
Like
dramatic and awful, we got to turn into kind of a positive. So
yeah, it must have been very cathartic, like
yeah.
resurrecting those pieces.
Yeah.
Into something beautiful.
Yeah.
So tell me, before that, I'm not going to keep you too long, but had you really kind of settled on a niche per se?
I was always going and the one who was taking all the big collages and the big pieces to the art fairs and lugging all these huge pieces around. And that's probably like my first passion. But once I started mixing, I'm definitely a mixed media artist. I'm not a jeweler, but I just say I make wearable art. I don't know how to do the soldering. I don't work with silver and gold. And, it's just very much so like I'm making collages that are wearable. So, yeah, so I feel like I definitely moved from 2D to this like 3D wearable, and it's just, this is where I'm at right now, and I love it, so.
That's great. That's great. The possibilities are endless. So,
yes.
Do you have any pieces or anything, scraps or?
So I was kind of showing this. This is a pretty typical way that the metal from the barn like looks. It's whenever the fire happened, it burned off the layer of paint that they had on it. But I turned this kind of just, kind of a dark gray into, the bits, and then I just paint it with, I really use an assortment of different materials to paint the metal. But as you see from Patty's pair, some of the pieces have a little bit more of the rust on it. Some are more of the gray, and then I just cut and paint and collage. So
yeah, exactly. And sometimes she hammers little holes into them and adds a little bead, and so it really is
like on this
I
pair.
Love those.
These are new.
I want those. Put those on.
So like on this pair, Yeah, right. So on this pair,
Ooh,
I did the painted, you know, and then a lot of like stamping, things like that.
just
I
one
do
second.
have,
Carol wants to know. Yes, she sells on Etsy.
I do,
Also
yeah.
sells on here.
Yeah, if you anything I make is for sale. A lot of the earrings, um, some of the styles I put on Etsy. Everything's made to order. Some things, if I do a one-off of, you get the original, but sometimes I decide I really like a style and I want to be able to recreate that style. But you can always send me a message. But I do have an Etsy page. It's Sarah Shoot Mixed Media. So.
Yes. Somebody was saying that they love the milk jug
The
edition.
milk jug. I know, that was fun. Yeah, that's a fun
Plastic.
addition. Yeah. I'm like, oh no, more things to save, you know. It's like, but it's good. It's been fun, and it was that turned out really nicely. I was excited with the way that turned out, so that's been a great response, and it's good to, yeah, all the different layers, the black and white, the doodles.
Like I think I save almost every post you have. You know how you can save them? I can save them. I go, I can't have them all.
Right.
You know, how many pair of earrings can I wear? But
I know.
You know, but I almost exclusively wear yours. But I like the idea of the posts.
Yeah.
Also, and I tend to like, for me, this longer. What do you call that?
The ear wire.
The ear wire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's more comfortable away from my face. If it's a little bit higher up, sometimes I have a hard time getting them in and out. But that's just me. Everybody has a different feel for things. Like I love these. These are more simple, but they have the long ear wire, and they do move, and they kind of hang. You know, you see them right below my hair. So that's my thing. You know.
Yeah.
I love everything that you do. I really do.
Thank you.
So please check at Sarah Shoot.
For the Etsy?
No, for on here.
On here, it's Sarah Shoot Mixed. It was going to be Sarah Shoot Mixed Media, but it can only be so long, I guess. So it's at Sarah Shoot Mixed. Is
Mixed.
I wonder if I could type it in here. Am I losing you?
Oh, somebody's heading over to Vi already.
Hilarious.
Wait a minute. Are we going to have time to do a little collage here? I'm not sure. If we don't, we were going to do a little collage too, but it's okay. I really enjoy having fellow artists on. And I also, I was saying to you, when we kind of been brainstorming for a while, that I didn't know whether we wanted to do like a week of dueling stuff, or that you could get other people on board to pick an artisan that's a little bit different than them and try to interpret their work and back and forth, inspired by somebody else, and kind of, get these little partnerships going, because, art is art is art. It's just like you said, you're looking at design, you're looking at shape, you're looking at size, you're looking at patterns, you're combining textures. I mean, this is one of them with the back taken off. You can also alter her stuff. Like this is, well, I painted this on the back of this one.
Nice. Love it.
I did on the back of it because it was going to hang down. And I was like, and it was a rusty one. And I wanted people to see something, so I tried it and I painted on it, and then I put little dots and stuff on it. Yeah. But I could also turn it around like this too.
Yes, and that's the thing. They all are. I mean, the nice thing about them is that all the different parts are interchangeable. So that's what I've been finding, is that some of the days, if I'm not feeling ready to just jump into creating the earrings that are orders, you can, I'm having fun with just like taking apart my existing pairs, reworking them, reworking the layers, the color combos, things like that. And so. And
I do the same thing when I get your stuff. Like sometimes I don't want as big of a piece, or just say, I'm going to be running around a lot, and it might, I want to forget them for the day.
Yeah.
And so I might take a layer off, and just kind of, wear them like that.
For sure. Yeah.
You know? Or
Yeah,
vice
definitely.
versa, or reverse it so that that
Yes.
shows. So
Yes.
that's what's really fun also. You can be creative with the earrings that she sends you as well. So you can kind of enter into the process. And I
Yeah.
think that that's very much like abstract art. The thing I
Yeah.
like about abstract art is people get to see what they want and they kind of get to enter into it and kind of finish it, you know, in terms of what they see and what it might speak to them. And so I really like the idea of being able to kind of cooperate or build a relationship with a piece of art.
Yeah.
And you can
Definitely.
definitely, your art is very relational.
Thank you. I saw that question about do I create custom work with items people send me. I have had people send me like different tins that have like pattern on them, or definitely have had people send me like broken jewelry pieces that maybe belonged to a family member. And I've worked with that for sure. That's always fun and an exciting process. So yeah, I'm really open to custom work for sure. And also because I do paint everything, like any color combo can be used, which is good. So
Yeah, and sometimes she'll ask you what color you want the back painted. So you see, like with these, I can turn that yellow, that bright yellowy green around, and it has a whole different look. And so it's really fun. So yeah, so I'm so happy that you agreed to come on. She
yeah.
was shy, just like all of you. And
Uh-huh.
honestly, I'm shy too. People are always saying, on IG, it's really good to show your face and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't think I'm totally comfortable with it, but now I do it. And the more
hmm
you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. But I would much rather, have you looking at my hands while I'm working than
Right.
at my face while I'm napping.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not movie stars,
Well, okay. I'm glad you're wearing a hat too. I was like, I was gonna
Yeah,
be a hat.
I love my hats. I love me some hats.
Me
I'll tell
too.
you. I really do. And once I wear a hat, I'm kind of committed. Except these kind of hats are pretty good because they're big up here, so it doesn't really flatten my hair. But because I have curly hair, once I have a hat on, it has to be comfortable because I'm
Yeah.
committed. Because it'll like flatten that out, make it straight, and everything looks crazy. But I love hats. So.
Me too. Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing your art with us. And
Thank you.
we're
That
going
was a
to
good.
maybe in the next, if it's not today, we're going to play around. I do want to show you something that I kind of did ahead of time that I was sort of playing around with, and it was inspired by you. And I just thought maybe I'd add one more piece to it, but it kind of looked like this.
Ooh.
And then I thought I might do some kind of
Yes.
stripey little
Wonderful.
thing,
Yeah.
or what have you. Isn't
Love
that
it.
fun?
That's
And you know what
amazing.
this is, everybody? This is crayon. So I'm
Okay.
getting my crayon. And the thing that I like about collage, and I don't consider myself a collage artist, and this one looks very much like collage, is like I like to kind of play the game where you can't tell which is collage and which is the piece.
Hmm.
I like to kind of blend it in, and then I might go off, say I had, this is collage here. Well, I might want to kind of add white stripes and have them go up here and then have the stripes so you don't see where it starts and it stops every time. But on this one for you, I wanted it to clearly look like it was
Collage. Nice.
various pieces, and I wanted to use writing because
Yes.
you write on a lot of your stuff.
Yeah.
It's almost like Greeking. You can't really see what it says, but
No. Right.
it's a blast. So
I love it. I love the neon pops and bright with the black and the doodles, and it's beautiful.
thank you. Thank you. I decided to black gesso on a piece of wood so that I would just get a different feel for it. But of course,
Mhm.
it could be on white, it could be on paper, it could be on a lot of things. but I just decided this would be kind of fun, especially since your other work is so assemblage, like it's three-dimensional, it's bigger, you know, it almost
Yeah.
looks like a takeoff on a cuckoo clock or something.
Yes, yeah,
You know?
that shape, yeah.
So I was kind of letting you speak through some of this stuff,
Nice.
you know. So that's what we'll probably, you know, start to play around with. But we have to talk more about kind of how to go back and forth a little bit with
That'd be great. That'd be
game.
excellent.
I think it would be fun. All
That
right,
would be
Sarah,
really
I'm
fun.
going to let you go.
Thank you so much for
Love
having me.
everybody. Oh, everybody.
Thank you. Yay, thank you so much.
All right. We'll
All
see
right,
you.
thanks so much, Patty. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye. Okay. All right. Did you like having a guest? Let me know. Let me know. I mean, it's a coffee shop. We're the stir crazy coffee guys, you know? And so, but anyway, you know, I brought some stuff and we probably aren't going to get to it this week. But like you said, like I said, I started a little collage piece. I tried it ahead of time. I think I would just add that one other piece where I put it, which is this piece here. There you go. And I don't know, I might tear it, I might make it smaller. But what I did to connect everything is I colored with crayon. This is just black gesso. And I just colored, you know, with my bright Caran d'Arche crayons. And you know, connected them that way. I mean, the possibilities are endless. You could use markers. Like I could go in here, and I've already been thinking about the next one, and make little white dots. You know, I can pick up the dot pattern. Sometimes you might want to go on, and I don't always use words that you can really read, but this is kind of neat. You know, you can see this backwards, but it's make today amazing, you know, tear little pieces of things off. I don't always do that because of the main event. And then I actually had a piece of my tape, my frog tape, and I was wondering if there was somewhere where I could cut a piece, you know, that, you know, represents that piece on there. But it's not written in stone. You know, I'm not trying to make that, but I'm using that as my inspiration piece. And so maybe you guys can find something that can be your inspiration piece. And here's one. I was going to show you, you know, how I gesso one. This one here, I gessoed ahead of time, and I had a few different pieces. I have tons of like little diddlies, but I didn't gesso the sides on these so you could just see. I did black gesso. You could do white gesso. You do black paint, black spray paint. It's, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be on wood either. I put it on wood because I thought that I might try to hammer something into it, because that would be Sarah. So, but you can do it on paper too. But I'm going to turn this down and just kind of put a couple of pieces on top. You won't see me glue it. If you want to glue it, what works good is matte medium. Where on earth is my bottle? I need my baba. I don't see it, but it's matte medium. It's you can do, like, it could be Liquitex. This is the black gesso, but it could say matte medium, or you can use Mod Podge, or you can use a glue stick that's recommended for collage. It just depends on what kind of adhesive you use. Matte medium dries clear. But anyway, it's fun, and it's a really good object lesson in learning how to see and work with shapes and negative space. So I'm just going to turn this down for a second, because we did use the time, and I hope you don't mind. I want to invite some of you on to show the work that you've been doing and things like that. So anyway, I'm going to just turn this down real quick. Can you see that? So I have a couple of pieces over here. I've got a lot of stuff over here, but you know, anything that you kind of put against the black, like if I were to glue something like this down, this I just make myself with parchment paper and make dots. So if I were to, you know, if it's a Sarah thing, but I use dots anyhow. But once you glue this down, those dots, a lot more of the black would show through. So this would almost be like more background. And, you know, you can play around with the different shapes and see where you want to go with that. You know, and don't be afraid to overlap your shapes. I mean, a lot of times when I see collage, and again, I'm not a collage artist. So, you know, go off the edges if you want to. And, you know, they can touch. I mean, you can connect them with a line, but I think it's pretty interesting when pieces overlap. Or you find a place where when they do overlap, it almost looks like a continuation of the collage piece. Do you see that there? And I think that's really neat. And, you know, that could even run into something like this, you know, and where I place this, or even like that, you know, there's like a little dot there that's unplanned, but maybe if I were to put these near each other, I might, you know, that might be my connecting point. You know, it doesn't have to be, but it's sometimes it's a good way to navigate collage, is to find out where, not make them contrived, but find out where, you know, they might make a good connection. Do you see these kind of things? Like right here, like it can kind of blend into that. What else do I have? I have this piece, and it's just something that I'm going to have to play around and work, cut them shorter, cut them longer, let them go off. You know, the possibilities are endless. And do try to alter your sizes. If everything's the same size, then it's going to be stagnant. So that's where it comes in with you trying different sizes of things. I think I have over here, I have a whole bunch of junk. Yeah, I have other pieces that kind of were from that same thing, you know, and it's not always tons and tons. Sometimes less is more, and then leave room, you know, maybe for painting and for coloring on the piece, so that the only thing that you know, holds it together doesn't have to be purely collage. Okay, you know, mix it with your medium of choice. I was looking at this. This is like me mixing colors, a color demo. And it was funny because I saw like this right here. And it was just a place where I had torn the sheet. And I thought, you know, now I couldn't have come up with that. I could have come up with it, but it would have looked contrived. But when you can find things like this and then either cut it out or tear it out, it becomes interesting, you know, and it's a possibility. Even something like this, you know, I didn't plan on this gray on gray thing here, but you know, that could work. There's a lot of things, and again, you can always make yourself a tissue paper. I have these, you know, stuff like this where I made with it was bigger, and I made it with crayon, large water soluble crayons, and then I just made some dots and some yellow marks, and so then that can become something else too. And you know, that could inform, you know, it in a whole different way. You know, you can use a big piece, but then you can also build off of it too. So maybe I'd want to, continue a shape or connect it there, and make that smaller. There's just a lot you can do. And like I said, alternate the sizes of your shapes. I might want to pick up the polka dots. No, I don't like that. But it is a real game to play. And it depends on where you tear it, like how you can use it. If you want to just smack dab and get bold and put it in the middle, then, maybe that's in the middle and that goes off. But again, it really helps you see design, because you see how this form is here and then it repeats itself there. So those are all things to consider. I have other pieces of paper and stuff. If I want to get blue into here, I could use a part of this as well. And, I can think about using it large, or I can think about using it small. Or I have this on the other side. See, most of my stuff I do on the back of other stuff. So, it depends on how I tear it and what part I allow to show. But I think you get my drift. Like if I were to just throw all these down randomly, it's still interesting. It's still interesting. So I hope that helps and gives you some inspiration for some work during the week. And I know that we're over. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody, and may the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you his peace. And I'll see you next week. Thank you for stopping by. Bye.